Hi viewers, today I'll explain the usage of if function. If function is generally used to make logical comparison and based on the result obtained perform different tasks. Here I have an example to explain the usage of if function. The marks scored by 10 students in mathematics is tabulated here. Now we can make a comparison of the marks obtained with the pass marks. Let us say the pass mark is 40, so you can compare the marks of individual students with a pass mark, so you can check whether these marks are greater than or equal to 40 or less than or equal to 40 or equal to 40. So different comparisons you can make, so that is logical comparison. You have different logical expressions to make this comparison test. So the logical comparison test always gives true or false. It will only give the result true or false. So to perform any task using that result, you require some other function like if function. A simple if function can do some task based on the result obtained by logical comparison test. So here I'll show you the logical comparisons which we can use, and that will only give the result true or false. Here in the logical comparison, I'll use equal to this cell C3. This is cell is C3, that is C3 equal to 40. So I'm checking whether that value in the cell C3 is equal to 40. It is not equal to 40, so that will give a false. In the cell C3, the value is 78, and that is not equal to 40. So the result should give false. So now you can get the formula applied to the remaining cells. So you are getting false except for one, which is the cell value is 40. So you are getting the result true. So this is a logical comparison test. You are only checking whether the values in the cells is equal to 40. When it is equal to 40, you get the result true. Otherwise, you get false. You can have a comparison like the value in the cell is less than 40. Is that value less than 40? No, it's not less than 40, so you will get a false. So I'm checking that C3, that is the value in the cell, is less than 40, so it should give false. Now you can apply the formula to the remaining cells, so you are getting true in some cases where the value is less than 40. So this is the logical comparison test less than 40. If you use less than or equal to 40, C3 less than or equal to 40, there again it gives false, and you can apply the formula. So here you are getting one value, which is 34 is less than 40, so you are getting true, and this case it is equal to 40, that is also giving true, and this is less than 40, so true. So you are checking whether it's less than or equal to 40. Similarly, you can have tests like greater than or equal to C3 cell greater than 40. If it's greater than 40, the logical test will return a value true. So you are getting true here because 78 is greater than 40. So whichever cells the value is greater than 40, it will display true, otherwise it will display false. So that is greater than 40. So if you apply the formula greater than or equal to, here in the formula bar, I'll make it greater than or equal to, and then press enter. That is again it's greater than or equal to 40, it is true, but only one cell you have equal to 40, that will become true if I apply the formula to all these cells. So I'll double click on this, I'll apply the formula. So now this will become true because it is equal to 40. So I am checking whether the values are greater than or equal to 40. Wherever it's greater or equal to, that formula gives true. The return value will be true. So otherwise it will be false. So in this case it's false because 34 is less than 40, and here it is not greater than or equal to 40. And if you want to check whether its value is not equal to the cell value C3, you can use this symbol less than and greater than symbol together. Less than and then greater than the symbol together. Not equal to 40. This is not equal to 40. Press enter. You are getting true. It's not equal to 40. So here among these values, only one value is equal to 40. That will give false. That only that will give false. The remaining all is going to be true. So I'll apply the formula to the entire column. So you'll get false here because it is equal to 40. If it's not equal to 40, that will give true. When it's equal to 40, that will become false. This is how you conduct logical tests. So the logical comparison test using logical expressions, you are comparing this cell value with some other cell value you can compare, or cell value you can compare with some fixed number or value. So you can use a less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, not equal to, or equal to. So these are the logical expressions which we can use to make logical comparison test. Now this will only give the result true or false. But if you want to perform some task using the logical comparison, you can use if function. So if function will perform some task based on the logical comparison. For that you can use that if function. If you can select this from the pull down menu, if logical test you should write. So suppose I want to display whoever has passed in maths exam. Those who have got 40 and above is pass, and less than 40 it's fail. So two students will fail. The remaining all students will pass. In the if structure, you should have logical test first. This is a if structure. If logical test. Logical test can be in the cell value greater than or equal to some value, or greater than some value, or one cell value you can compare with another cell value. So that is a logical test. Logical test you should put as a first argument. Then second, value if it is true. If the logical test gives true, then what we need to do? So that is the second argument of the if function. And if the logical test fails, and if it is false, what operations or what the Excel has to do? So three parameters in the simple if structure: logical test, and logical test will have some comparisons. And the second argument is if the logical test is true, then what to do? And the third argument is if a logical test is false, then what the Excel has to do. So this is the formula which I am going to apply here, because C3 is a cell here. This C3 cell, C3 is greater than or equal to 40. That is a logical test. If the cell value in C3, that is 78 now, C3 is greater than or equal to 40, then you should display pass. That should be in double inverted commas, because it's a text. You should put it in inverted commas. If it's a value, you don't require that. You can write the value there. So when it is a text, you should put it in the double inverted commas. And next, if value is false, if the test gives a false value, then you should display fail. So instead of getting true, you are performing some task. Instead of true, it will display a pass. So I'll type this C3, and that is cell. You can select the cell C3 greater than or equal to 40. You should display pass. So that is a text you are going to display if it is greater than or equal to 40. Otherwise, you have to display fail. So I'll just type fail and close the bracket, enter. So you are getting pass. Now double click on this fill handle. You can apply the formula to the entire column. So you are getting the two candidates failed in mathematics. This is how you use the if function. This column is not going to be useful for us because it's only simply displays true or false. So if you are using this logical test along with some function like if function, then that will display some result. You can also perform some calculation here instead of just displaying pass or fail. Now, if you want to clearly know who has passed or who has failed, let us say that who has failed, only two students have failed. I want to highlight the failed candidates. There you can select this and go for the conditional formatting, highlight cell rules, text that contains fail. I'll select fail. Text that contains fail has to be highlighted in red. You can select a different color. Okay. light red. Okay, light red with the dark red text. Click OK. So it will display that failed candidates clearly. So you can immediately find out 2 candidates have failed. The other way, you can also highlight the pass. Conditional formatting, highlight cell rules, text that contain pass has to be highlighted in green. Green fill with the dark green text. Click OK. So that will give the pass is highlighted with light green, fail is highlighted with a light red color. So this is how you use the if function. And you can also use the if function. I'll remove all this conditional formatting, clear roles. So I have cleared the roles. I'll also remove the formula. Instead of displaying it as pass or fail, I'll display the marks if it is passed. Or you can do some calculation. If the comparison is true, you can perform some other task. Instead of displaying the text, you can perform some other task. So I'll demonstrate that. Equal to if test is this C3 greater than or equal to 40, what do you want to do? Say you can display the cell value. I'll just put C3, so the marks will be displayed, and then otherwise you can put a fail. I'll just put only F, fail. Here also you can have a perform some other task. I'm just demonstrating this. You can do some calculations if a test is passed, and if it is failed also you can perform some task. So here, if it is greater than or equal to the pass marks, that is 40, it is displaying the marks. Otherwise, it will put fail. So the marks is only displayed. The student's marks is displayed if he has passed. So this is how you use the if function. I hope you understood the usage of simple if function. Thank you for watching.